The prosecutor and the judge in the Dep murder case now want him freed. What up, world? Charles Brown back again talking facts. Okay, so listen. Do y'all remember Special Delivery? Special Delivery. Dep, the rapper from Bad Boy Records, Diddy's Bad Boy, Take That Records, right? Many of us from the 90s who were listening to rap back then remember Dep blowing up on Bad Boy around the same time as Loon and Mace and a couple other people, right? And I thought Dep was going to blow up in a bigger way than he actually did. So I'm going to read to you what started his career. He dropped some vinyls in 95, 96. He met Diddy in 98. He signed a $350,000 5-album deal with Bad Boy. And he appeared on 2 songs on Black Rob's 1999 album Life Story. He released his solo album Child of the Ghetto in 01. And it peaked at 106 on Billboard and 23 on the top rap albums. He had the song Special Delivery, and it peaked at 59 on R&B hip-hop songs and 3 on hot rap singles. He was subsequently dropped from Bad Boy. So that's Dep's career in a nutshell, which is pretty much a lot of rappers' careers in a nutshell, right? They had a hot deal, they had a hot song, and then they got dropped, and then their life went down. So at that point, my opinion, I'm not going to say his life went down, but his life changed. Let's say that, all right? So as you're out here scrambling and doing whatever you got to do to make your money or make your life complete, a lot of artists I've seen from that era went one of two ways. They either went worse and went to prison, or they found a connection with God, right? And they wanted to improve themselves. And a lot of them, to be honest with you, that was on Bad Boy Records found God. Let's be honest. Craig Mack ended up in a religious cult of some sort. Dep found God. And we're going to talk about how he found God. Mace found God. And I'm sure there were others, right? But what happened with Dep, and what I never understood, is that Dep in 2010 walked into a police precinct and spoke to detectives about a murder that went down in 1993 when he was still out in the streets robbing. He revealed all the details he could remember, and when police cross-referenced it, they found it matched up with a unsolved homicide case. As a result, the rapper was charged and ultimately convicted of second-degree murder in 2012, which is almost 20 years after the fact. He went to prison. Let me do the math. 93, 2003, 2012. That's 19 years that he had already committed this murder, right? He said he wanted to, let me see, he wanted to, I know it's in here somewhere. They asked him why he did it. And he said the case weighed on him, and he was just trying to get things right between himself and God. Coleman claimed that he did not know that his victim had died. What? What? Okay, so why did he confess if he did not know he died? I'm just reading this like everybody else. I don't know. But end of the day, at some point he realized the guy died. Maybe when he shot him, he didn't know he died. That's what he's trying to say. But 2010, he walked in, and in 2015, let me see. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 2011, I'm sorry. He was sentenced on April 17th to 15 years to life in prison, even though the people in the case were saying that he was remorseful, right? the judge still gave him the 15. So I want to talk about this, right? In my opinion, it's just my opinion. If you're trying to get right with God, jail is not the place for it. Jail is not that. So what I'm saying is, I feel like when people confess to something like that, just say it's your guilt. Because if God not going to forgive you for going to jail for 15 years to life, that's not forgive. There's mad dudes in there that's not getting forgiven just because they went to jail. That's not how forgiveness works. I'm sorry to tell all the people who feel like that giving yourself over to the correctional officers for the rest of your life is somehow redemption for you. That's not how you get redemption. If you're trying to get redemption with God, you got to go through God. It's not in no jail. It's not in no jail. Jail can't forgive you. Can't nobody in that jail forgive you. Can't nobody running that jail forgive you. Can't no time served get you into heaven. It don't work like that. So, my opinion, and I understand that you're guilty. I understand that. But that's like the people who used to whip themselves with the whips with the metal spikes. They would hit themselves on the back because they were punishing themselves for sinning. That was a religious thing where they would hit their own feet, hit their own legs, hit their own back, hit their own arms as hard as they could as punishment to get closer to God. And I'll be the first one to tell you that that's not what this is about. Why would God want you to punish your body, punish your mind, when he's the only one can forgive you? It makes no sense if you're paying attention to what's supposed to be in the scripture. If you're reading that and walking away with, I must punish my flesh. I don't think that that's what that is about. So I feel like, in my opinion, that G. Dep walking into that police station, telling them everything, they're not God. They're not judges of you. All they did was throw you in jail and take away your years of your life for no reason. In my opinion. Yes, it's a horrible, tragic crime, and someone, the family deserved closure, right? It doesn't bring anyone back. When someone goes over to the other side, they leave this stuff behind, right? Not in a good way, bad way. It's just, it is what it is. He's gone. He forgave you. So end of the day, you're asking for forgiveness for people who can't give it to you. If you believe in God, the only person can forgive you is God. No one else. So in my opinion, I feel like it was a mistake. I never understood it when I first heard it, that he walked into a police station and told that he did this crime 20 years ago. And then ended up they gave him 15 to life for it. In my opinion, him walking in there should have been enough for the judge to be like, you have shown enough remorse. You haven't done anything like this since. You already did 20 years of guilt with this, right? Now, again, I'm not saying that the family is going to agree with what I'm saying. It's not about the family. I'm not taking nothing away from the family's pain. Of course, they're going to want to know who did it. They're going to want him punished, right? But I'm talking about from the person on the other side, the person, G. Dep, Travell Gerald Coleman, I never understood. And Diddy came out saying that he did the right thing, but I never understood why you would throw your life away for something you did 20 years ago. But I say all that to say this. Now the judge and the prosecutor both want him out. They both say that the 15 to life was excessive, and the Manhattan DA reached out to a clemency attorney and said that the request was unique, and reportedly wrote a letter to the judge on G. Dep's case supporting the rapper's release following his clemency application. So he has everyone that put him in there, that tried him, the judge, the prosecutor, everyone trying to get him out now because it makes no sense. He's very remorseful. I'm going to read the rest. It was also revealed that retired Judge Michael Obis submitted a separate letter to New York State and the governor on his behalf. So it says she's only granted clemency to 10 people since she took office a year ago. But they're hopeful that she'll be kicked out of office. It says, so speaking of the family, let me get this right. Robert Hinkle, the victim's brother, said Hochul should be kicked out of office if she gives clemency to G. Dep. So this is my thing, right? Like I said, the family's going to feel away. They should feel away, right? And my condolences to the family, and I understand. But I know people who have killed people and got back out in less time than that, are walking the streets. The person's gone, and that person got out in 6 years. They're back on the street. They've been back on the street. I know people who've committed multiple murders and are out on the street. So I'm not saying it's good, bad, or indifferent. What I'm saying is this guy confessed. He did not have to come forward. They should have considered that. He was remorseful. They should have considered that. You're going to give a remorseful man who's doing nothing but trying to make things right, and you're going to give him 15 to life? And to top it all off, he's already done 10. He's done 11, actually. He's done 11 years. He went in 2011, according to the article. So he's done 11 years. He only has 5 more before he can be freed anyway. Did I say 4? Oh, he only has 4 more that he can be freed. They could still deny him and make him stay in there. But at the end of the day, if you're asking a family member, of course they're going to be like, no, leave him in there forever till he dies. But we have to understand what remorse is, and we have to understand what forgiveness is, right? And I'm not saying go around forgiving people, but I'm talking about this guy walked in there on his own. They didn't solve the case. They didn't hunt him down. It wasn't a cold case. He didn't go on a run. He wasn't an old man hiding out with a different name. He came in and said he did it. I think that's worth something. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments, man. Should G. Dep have even gave himself up in the first place, and should they let him out? Right? And can't blame Diddy for this. You can't blame Diddy for everything. It's not his fault. Diddy's a business owner. He dropped him from the label. He wasn't making money that he felt he should be. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. CLBMG.com. Go head over there, see what we got going on. Chuckwick, Ills. Subscribe. Hit the like button. Peace.
CLB.